Hey everyone, welcome to a special edition of Game Set Bet. We're doing a special show here, daily show for the French Open, or Roland Garros, as how you want to call it. I'm Crina Mustafa, I'm your co-host, and here with my lovely co-host, Sara Poraria.
How we doing?
Good. I mean, we're on day 3, but we're still in the first round. So how
Yeah.
are you kind of feeling about that?
Whenever there's like any Grand Slam, it's just there's so many games all at once. So even though it is day 3, I feel like so much has already happened. Like we are just getting started and we've already seen, a couple big names go. We've seen, like it's crazy how fast paced it is, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah, like speaking of big names, like Angelique was upset in the first round by
Yeah.
Lynette. Like many thought that she would be a favorite to win the title. Defending champ Barbara Krejcikova is out as well. So, we're just only in the first round, but still already have had upsets. So it's entertaining on that side. But a big title favorite, we'll start with the WTA side, of course, who is still in it. She kind of hasn't dropped a beat this entire year, is Iga Swiatek. She won her first match 6-2, 6-0. That was her 14th big goal of this year.
Yeah.
And it's like she's on like a 29 consecutive win streak. So how are you feeling about her winning the whole thing?
The odds are in her favor. There's no doubt about it. She's so powerful to watch because, as you said, 6-2, 6-0. She's not giving up any air. Like just the way she plays, it's so strategic and she's great to watch. I know you're a little conflicted because your girl Halep is, not the favorite right now with Swiatek, but hey, Halep is. She usually performs. We were just actually watching her match. It's on right now. And I'm still quite confident that she will also go the distance as well.
Yeah, right now Iga is favored at -165 to win the whole thing, and Halep is right behind her at plus 1400, but that's a pretty big gap in terms of the odds. If you guys can't tell, I'm very nervous about the fact that Halep is playing right now and I can't watch her. But she did get the first set. She ended up getting the first set.
No, she came back.
6-4.
She was down. She came back.
Yeah, so that makes me feel a little bit better. But yeah, I don't think that anybody can really beat Iga. Like, I think with her play, she just doesn't let anybody get to play their own game.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's not making mistakes, I think is just kind of what wraps that all together.
I mean, she's also arguably one of the most consistent, female tennis players we've seen in a really long time. Dare I say it, since Serena. Like, there's no one, we get a name and they're maybe around for a year or 2 or 3, but then, I don't know, because of an injury, they fall off. Like, we've seen this with every Canadian tennis player, really. But yeah, no, I just think her consistency more than anything, it's really admirable.
100%. And there's some other notable matches that I did want to kind of touch on. Kaya Kanepi defeated Garbiñe Muguruza.
Yeah, the Spanish lady.
Yeah, Kanepi is kind of known as that top 10 killer at Grand Slams, where at this point it's not really considered an upset anymore because that's kind of what she does. It's so funny, I first had my eyes on her when she beat Halep in the first round of the US Open a couple of years ago. And ever since then I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
And then also Amanda Nisimova defeated Naomi Osaka, which can be considered an upset, whichever way you want to see it.
Yeah.
I think Nisimova is kind of getting back into the tour and getting back to the level that she was at before her injury and before kind of the personal stuff that she went through. But kind of a little bit of news, Osaka may not be playing Wimbledon.
Yeah, no, we saw that with the whole her not having any points, and she kind of came out and said that I like to see what my points are in a tournament because it helps me improve because I like to see them, grow. I don't know. I think Osaka her journey's been really interesting because it's, ever since she pulled out last year and she said, I want to focus on my mental health. I feel like she's never been able to come back 100%. She has a lot of scrutiny, which I feel for her a lot. The media really puts so much pressure on her. But yeah, I mean, I can't blame her. Obviously, she knows the sport better than anyone. And if she needs that to compete, she was kind of saying, I don't think I'll be able to compete 100%. But it's obviously, as a fan, you're upset because she is so great to watch. And she is still, in my opinion, arguably one of the best female players right now. So I think it's bad. It's a bad look for Wimbledon, honestly, because you're automatically losing one of the best. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a lose-lose situation here. I think if anything, Wimbledon would just need to reverse its ban on the Russian and the Belarusian athletes because like, what are we doing here? Like, you're going to have players either pulling out, you're going to have players playing, but then nobody's getting points. So it's kind of just like, obviously, like, I respect their decision.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but nobody's winning here. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the biggest takeaway from this. Wimbledon will definitely be interesting this year as an exhibition event, which is kind of weird to think about it.
It's insane. It's like the one of the oldest Grand Slams, and you're like, what do you mean? This is exhibition?
Yeah.
Like that. It's very ever changing, the sport, and I don't know if I'm happy about this specific change, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And then a last honorable mention has to go to Angelique Kerber, who is, dare I say, back? Like, she's coming off of a title, and now she won the first round at the French Open. We know vintage Kerber, like, she's won Wimbledon, like, she knows she's been there, but yeah, I'm kind of excited for her. Like, I'm just glad to see players have their redemption stories.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I'm kind of at with her.
I completely agree. I think it's always, as any like sports fan, not just tennis, but you do love to see the comeback. And so, I mean, we'll keep an eye on it.
For sure. Okay, moving on to the ATP. This is where it kind of gets spicy. We have 19-year-old now, Carlos Alcaraz, Rafa Nadal, and Novak Djokovic are all in the same half of the draw. I don't really know how that happened, but essentially that means none of them can face each other in the final.
Yeah, so I saw it's not just those three, but it's also Dimitrov, Felix, and Zverev. They're all on this side, and I was just like, who the hell is on the other side of the bracket now? And the two biggest names are Cilic and Medvedev, which is great for them, but I hate when this happens in tournaments, especially like as a diehard Rafa fan, you know, we used to watch him with Federer in the finals, but now you kind of do love to see him and Djokovic go to these finals and play each other. So yeah, it's a little bit gutting because I think, you know, it's not just like we're going to see several like quarters, semis, final. They're going to be big games. It's going to be exciting tennis, but they're going to be huge.
And these three are actually like in order favored to win the entire tournament. Like Novak's at plus 180, Carlos is at plus 260, and above Nadal, who's at plus 390. How do you feel about that? Because that's interesting. Obviously, like Nadal's coming off of a couple of injuries, right? And so that's probably, with Carlos's recent success, that's probably why he's above him. But how confident are you in that?
I mean, the thing is, well, first of all, like, it's Rafa. We're playing on clay. Like, you know, I think we need to remember that. But also with him and especially Djokovic as well, they have so much more experience that I think will come into play. Like, I am so happy to see Carlos, like, coming up as this new kind of Spanish reign. I think it's, like, almost perfect timing with Rafa kind of looking to finish his career, which I know, like, I can't even think about it. But then, you know, this super young Spanish guy, and they remind me a lot of each other in ways, too. So there is like that, like, you know, silver lining, but I still think, like, I'm surprised with the odds with that Carlos is favored over Rafa just because he's great, but he is so young. He has so much to learn still. So, like, I wouldn't put it past Rafa to still see you in the final. I'm praying.
I'm definitely with you there. I think also Carlos being young might also be another factor. His legs might be fresher. He might be in whatever, better shape or whatever you want to call it. I'm 19, so I guess I should understand.
Perfect. This is Carlos to the Rafa.
I love that. The thumbnail needs to just be like us, like photoshopped on Carlos and Rafa. Oh man, that's so funny. But yeah, all three of them went by in straight sets in round one, so no difficulty yet. So I think that's just gonna get spicier the more we go along. Another notable was Stan Rorinka is out. He's kind of making his return to the tour as well. I was a huge Stan the Man fan, like back when he was back in the day. I know I'm 19, but I really was.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I watched that match. I thought, you know, he's getting there. Like, it's not enough yet, but he's had a couple of wins so far on his way back. So I think even though he lost, it was still a positive all around.
100%. I completely agree. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the Canadians because we are a Canadian show. We're in Canada. Okay, so before the French Open, I kind of had my power rankings for the four big Canadians, and I had Bianca, Felix, Layla, and Dennis at the bottom because I didn't have Justin Chapeau because he was playing against Rune in the first round, and whoop-de-doo, he lost.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I just think, like, with Dennis, like, he hasn't kind of looked consistent in the clay season yet. He's had some outbursts at the Italian Open where I think he's just kind of getting in his head a little bit, and that kind of messes up too. And this was a really difficult first round match. I think you look at it, you're not even saying that Shabba would have gotten out of that comfortably. But yeah, like, are you worried about him, his trajectory?
Yeah, I am. And I hate to say it, but it's kind of been with like several Canadian tennis players. Like we've seen, you know, in the past, oh, what's his name now? It's gonna
Milos Raonic.
Yeah, Raonic, and then the girl from Quebec.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, they were supposed to be, these were the guys that were going to represent Canada. And I mean, Chini Bouchard really lasted 2 seconds, but even Raonic, like, he'll come back and it's just, he's not the same player he was. He's not consistent. And I hope for these guys, you know, I'd like to see them do well, but even Bianca has already had her issues and she's, you know, like relatively still young, and like it's just the fact that she already hasn't been consistent. She had that one win and then it was kind of like, okay, we're all gonna get behind her, and then it was like, no, injuries or just getting knocked out. And it's just unfortunate. We have some really bad luck. But I will say, out of everyone so far, Felix is looking like he's doing really well. He's kind of stayed doing really well. He's proving people wrong, and he's slowly but surely like getting better as well. So I don't know. If anything, I think I can't say the same thing about Dennis, but I feel like Felix is our only hope.
I definitely always had more like belief in Felix over Shapo in terms of potential. I was honestly a little bit worried watching his first round match against Juan Pablo Ruiz because he went down 2 sets and I was like, oh God, like we're not doing this again. Like, he's not really a clay player. Like, he's a hardcore player, and it's so obvious when you're watching him because you see that he prefers like a much more fast-paced game. And he like tries to hit these shots where it would definitely work on a hard court, but it just, the clay just like messes up his rhythm. But he was able to make like a major comeback and win 3 sets in a row after being down 2. And I think like he just made the quarters in Madrid as well. So I think he, you know, has the potential to maybe make a run here, hopefully on the men's
with the bracket
side.
He's in, actually.
Right. I forgot about that.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
But yeah, even on the women's side, we kind of touched on Bianca, but she won her first match in 3 sets because she's the queen of 3 sets. You know, that's how it kind of goes. She plays Belinda Bencic next, which makes me just a little nervous.
Like, when I saw that too, I was like, here we go again. Like, it's definitely nerve-wracking because, like we said, like Bianca hasn't, you know, she was injured for so long. She's just trying to like basically come back now, and this is like one of like her first Grand Slams where she's actually like, okay, I'm present, I'm not injured, I'm, you know, but I'm nervous. I do not feel good about this.
Yeah, same. And like, the clay swing was kind of when she was going through injuries. So she, even some of these tournaments, I think she was in Rome for the first time in her career a couple of weeks ago. So that's kind of crazy to think about. But she had some good tests. Like, she played against Sabalenka in Stuttgart. And even though she lost, like, she still put up a really good fight. So hopefully she can pull that out against Bencic. I have faith in her. She's at the top of my power ranking, so I got to stick with her.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
And then we have another one, Leylah Fernandez, who beat Kristina Mladenovic in her first round match. Very impressive. I would say I've been a little bit hesitant with Leylah this season just because she's kind of struggled a little bit, even on hard court and on clay as well. Like, she started the year off winning a title, I think it was in Colombia, I want to say. But now, or maybe it was Mexico. I have to check. I forgot where it was. But yeah, she's kind of struggled since then a little bit. So hopefully, like, she's good on clay. Like, she won the French Open as a junior. So hopefully she can kind of just translate that and make a run at this tournament.
I think that's the thing with her is there's like a little bit more hope because she is younger and like she's just getting her career started, that like it doesn't, like, the fact that she's competing in this, I feel like it doesn't matter what she does, because it's like if she has like, you know, a first, a second, a third round win, like for her it's like, all right, I'm only growing, I'm only learning. Like, this, everything for her is a learning experience. So like, yeah, I don't think she's gonna win the whole thing, but I think that like anything that happens with her is you're just gaining experience. That's what she needs. She's young.
100%. And then kind of the last Canadian that was in the draw, Rebecca Marino, she made the draw, but then she lost to Coco Gauff, which was kind of, you know, predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I thought, I was like, it'll be good experience for her, sure.
Yeah.
For her, you know, she's coming back. She's been coming back on tour as well. But Coco Gauff is just another feisty teenager who's kind of. She just got her high school degree. I don't know if you saw, but she took pictures with her high school degree in front of like the Eiffel Tower in Paris because she's been like doing it while playing tennis on tour. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, it makes you think. You kind of just, what am I doing?
What am I doing with my life? Exactly. But yeah, that's kind of near the end of our show. I'm super excited. By tomorrow we'll be done the first round, which will be nice. We can start like getting into lesser matches and spicier matchups. Yeah, I can't wait for more hot takes and see how Rafa does, how Carlos does,
how Halep is doing right now.
Hopefully she's like went on like a whole thing and just like won the entire match, and
fine.
I can just get out to a win and everything will be okay.
Hopefully.
But yeah, that's all for today. This has been super fun. I've been your co-host, Crina Mustafa, alongside Sara Poraria. This has been Game, Set, Bet.